The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 296th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Summers. I'm the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
Dude, this is weird because it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. And it didn't mean that this Wednesday, and that's annoying. And I was like trying to talk to people, and like nobody wanted to talk. Nobody was chatty tonight. There was nothing on Twitter that was worth talking about. I was like, I can honestly say, for the first time in a very long time, I was very bored on a Wednesday. So I need this baseball stuff to hurry up and get over. So as not to preempt my Wednesdays.
I was going to say, I was literally just at Game 4 for the Detroit Tigers in the ALDS against the Seattle Mariners. We forced Game 5, so ALDS ain't over, at least with Tigers and Mariners, and it's not over for a lot of teams right now, so you might have to wait a little bit longer, honestly.
Tigers and Mariners, Seattle, I'm just waiting for the day that we take their team and move them to Oklahoma City. Just like we're going to eventually take all their teams and move them to Oklahoma City.
Even the Seahawks? You want the Seahawks?
I want it all. Cause it's not that I want it. I just want Seattle not to have it. Okay?
Goddamn, man. What'd they do to you?
They bitched and complained when they wouldn't build a new stadium for their basketball team, and the Oklahoma City did. And they're like, y'all stole our team. Y'all stole our team. We didn't steal anything. You proved you didn't want it. Okay?
Ooh.
We didn't steal nothing. Okay? So yeah, so there's a bit of a personal issue with the whole whole city of Seattle. Your coffee sucks.
Hopefully nobody from Seattle is listening to this.
Your coffee sucks, and you know it rains there because it's trying to drown all of you.
Well, so yeah, I mean it's been a wild week just because of the fact that Dynamite was on Tuesday because of the MLB postseason. So we had Title Tuesday from none other than Jacksonville, Florida, take place this past Tuesday. So we're going to go over that. We got also our wrestlers and matches of the month as we head into October. Right now, we're a full week into October, and we got our wrestlers of the month, match of the month. Myself and Floyd will give you guys those. Before we get into everything, though, we want to make sure you guys are downloading this fine podcast. You listen to us on YouTube Music, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you choose to listen to us. We appreciate the downloads. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers who you wish, rate, review, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And then follow us on Twitter. You can find us at ATElitePod on Twitter. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. And you can check out all the other guys that you have on this network, all the other great podcasts, all the other great shows that Social Suplex has. Give them some support. Give them some love. I am at Austin Sumowitz at SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and get a t-shirt. And then be sure to sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Link is in the description for both of those at the bottom of the show. So before we get into everything with that, news of the week is that we're going to announce our AEW Wrestlers and Matches of the month for myself and Floyd for the month of September. So I will pass things up to Floyd. Obviously, we're going to have a men's and a women's wrestler of the month, and then a match of the month that we will announce for each of us. I will let you know already, just as a little tease. Very similar but slightly different in one aspect. So, Floyd, you can go ahead and you can go
Yes.
through yours.
Yes. So our keeping it strong style match of the wrestler and match of the month for September. We agree on the men's, which is
Yep.
Bandito. He had a big
Oh, yeah.
month. I actually, with how October started, he's probably going to end up being the October Wrestler of the Month. Somebody's going to have a strong month to beat him. Because when it comes to Match of the Month and Better Wrestler of the Month, to me, well, when it comes to Wrestler of the Month, I will take what you do outside of AEW because you're still technically an AEW wrestler. So if you're having bangers in New Japan or whatever, I'm still going to count it. All right, so I'm going with Bandito for Wrestler of the Month. Or I probably could have just said Brodito, but I'm just going to go specifically Bandito.
Yeah.
He's been super hot lately. The women, I am giving it to, finally, more than a woman, the alien, all those different terms she had. Finally, AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander, or Chris Straplander, as you see the new shirt on Shop AEW.
Yep.
I'm just going to tell you, as a man with a filthy mind, there was definitely a double entendre to the whole Straplander thing. And hold on, and she calls herself Strat Daddy. You put those two things together, that ain't a necessarily pure and wholesome image.
Sir, that's your problem.
How she calls herself Strat? She calls herself Strat Daddy, and she calls herself Strap Lander. 1 + 1, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, 1 + 1 = 3, dog. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shout out to Chris Statlander. She is the Women's Wrestler of the Month for September. And my match of the month should be a no shock to everybody. Anybody. I traveled from Oklahoma City to LA to Toronto to be there to sit next to the Jax the Destroyer, Miss Jackie Rodriguez. I sat next to her to watch our favorite tag team on the planet, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, wrestle against Christian and Cope. The winner who won the match is up for debate because I say, hey, when you drop a man's wife on her head in front of him, I think you won the fight. I don't know why, but I think that means you won the fight. But the official standings say Christian and Cope won that match. So that is my match of the month. Again, I concede to Austin. The match that he picked is probably the better match, but the match I picked is the match that meant the most to me.
Oh, no, I understand completely. And no, my wrestlers of the month, male and female, are the exact same. I will say, since you just gave it to straight Bandito, I'll go with Brodito, the tag team, just to be able to make it a little bit different. But in reality, I gush about Brody King all day, every day. I want to give some love to Bandito. That dude's been incredible. He nearly won my Wrestler of the Month last month, so I felt like it was he was due, and he had another great performance on Dynamite this week as well. So I got to give love to Bandito. Chris, like everything Floyd just said, massive for her being the new AEW Women's World Champion. And I especially enjoyed her incredibly well done promo with Timeless Tony Storm. The theatrics, just spectacular, and made me feel things when she was petting Tony's face while laying side by side to her. I got a very big case of the Dolph Zigglers of that should have been me. Anyway, moving on with that. Yes, my match of the month though is going to go to the triple threat match for the Continental Championship from All Out. Kazuchika Okada versus Takeshita versus Mascara Dorada. I'm fucking saying names correctly, Austin. Jesus Christ, it's been a long day. I apologize, everybody. But yes, that triple threat was by far and away the best match of All Out this year. I enjoyed it so much. It was so hot, so fast, so high energy and everything like that. All the great words I could use right now if I wasn't so exhausted. But you know what? It is what it is. I love that match so much. I enjoyed it. I continue to enjoy it. It's the one match I've gone back to the most from that. Second being the tag match between Cope and Christian and FTR. So I completely understand why Floyd with that. If he chose anything other than that, I would have thought something happened to my close friend because I would have thought somebody had kidnapped him and maybe swapped his brain out for somebody who wasn't obsessed with FTR. So.
Whoa. Yeah, that was accurate. I was
gonna say you can't really
argue with
debate that, dude.
I just looked at my wall. Yeah.
No, exactly. But that is our matches of the month and our wrestlers of the month. We're going to get into this week in AEW. I know because Collision was taped, correct, from this week?
Yes, Collision was actually taped tonight. What we're going to do is, because I honestly thought with the show last night, even with it being Homecoming in 2.5 hours, I honestly don't have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things that happened on the show. So I figured the review is going to be so quick that's why I was like, oh, let's kind of look at Collision from last week. And
absolutely. And Collision from last week, I mean, it was a live coast-to-coast one with it being taped, with it being airing coast-to-coast at the same time. So with the taping taking place, we had the show opening up with Death Riders and Adam Priest, Death Riders, facing off against Adam Priest, Jay Lethal, and Tommy Billington. Didn't have a ton that I took away from this. It was hard hitting, but I honestly just saw it as another chance for the Death Riders to get a very strong win. I liked how this was the match basically for Garcia to kind of take front and center with the Death Riders.
So the thing that I can take from this match, there was this one thing I thought was really cool. When the Death Riders attacked them at the beginning of the match, they got Priest and Billington, the young kid, but Jay Lethal was ready for him.
Oh, he was prepared.
Yes. So it was like, it was a 3-on-3 match, and it was a squash, but Jay Lethal really didn't get squashed. The other two kind of got squashed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just weird.
There's also a good spot where Jay Lethal gave a really strong right hand, and Mox kind of was like, oh, so we're fighting for reals, are we?
Yes, and I just thought that was a little storytelling. Just because it's 3-on-3 doesn't mean all three are equal. Jay Lethal stood a little bit ahead of the other two. But Adam Priest and Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billin, they're being presented as a tag team. This is how I like tag teams to be presented at first. Oh, you kind of suck, and you're going to get better, and you're going to get better. I imagine that at some point they're going to call themselves the Bulldogs. I don't think Adam Priest is British, so I think they'll just be the Bulldogs. But I think that's eventually coming. And when they get their name and they get their matching gear and they get their music, they'll start winning matches. And then maybe in a year or two, they can win the tag team titles. That's all I ask for my tag teams. That's it.
Hey, man. That's could be a big moment if they do that.
Yeah. It's like I've seen the Crew. I love them as a tag team, and they've lost a lot. I don't know where they've been. I don't know if someone's hurt. I haven't got any inside information. But I saw a post from Action and Andretti, and all I think is like, dude, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Let your natural chemistry build over a while, and then you win. There's nothing wrong with that. Patience.
There you go. Yeah. Patience, young Padawan. We then had Anna Jay go up against Jamie Hayter. I really wanted to love this match, but I liked it a lot. I thought it was a fun one. It's honestly kind of crazy because they haven't wrestled each other in, I looked this up, 4 years.
Yeah, they wrestled themselves in the first round of the TBS tournament. That's how long ago. So the last time they wrestled each other is during the inaugural TBS tournament 4 years ago. So that was a long time.
Wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild stuff. And they got a good amount of time, but I wish they would have gotten more, I felt like. There was points where it felt like maybe they were kind of moving a bit quick on this match. But I liked that how Anna Jay had some good counters in there. She had a really good flatliner that she hit on Jamie. Sold it really well. The match ended with Jamie getting out of the Queen Slayer and then hitting the Haterade to get the pinfall for the victory. Good to see Jamie Hayter get a win on this one. And yeah, these are two girls that I feel like can especially get some real big pushes. I feel like if the timing is right and if the storyline is right, I feel like these two are always going to be waiting in the wings for like, hey, when you want to give us a shot, you give us a shot and we'll knock it out of the park.
If only there was a tag team tournament that was announced and we've gotten more information on it or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Which, TJ just recently was looking to get some stuff in as well coming up pretty soon. So like, hey, maybe that's something we kind of set up, maybe just a little bit.
All right.
Rush and Sammy Guevara had a jobber match. It was a jobber match.
Against Cha-Cha Charlie. I like the dance. The Cha-Cha.
That literally was like, I thought No Way Jose had come into AEW. That's literally what it was. Like, I thought like this was pulled directly out of like NXT, but like black and gold, where like there was a couple of wacky gimmicks in there. Not in current NXT. This gimmick would fit perfectly in current NXT.
Yeah, this is the perfect person to just get beat up on.
But then you had Eddie Kingston versus Dralistico, and
Eddie Kingston's getting back into ring shape.
You're seeing that moment where you're getting him back to where we expected him to be once he'd been out for a while. And Dralistico, I feel like, is the kind of guy that also can just work off of Eddie so well. So, like, I mean... Yeah,
they can push Dralistico anytime they want to. Right now,
he's there at any point you want.
Yeah, but he's kind of the, pin eater of LFI right now, so...
Unfortunately so, yeah, but either way, it was still a really, really strong match. I loved how Eddie just jumped right out to try to get some offense early on Dralistico, and then the spinning back fist to get the pinfall. And yeah, another really, really solid match. And I loved how just the crowd was ready and wanting to see Eddie be back to his old form. And you're seeing him get back there, I think. This match was another step towards him getting back to where you expect him to be.
Absolutely. Don't really have anything to add to that match.
Yeah. Next match, Eminem TV versus the Don Callis family.
Dude, Eminem TV... First of all, it's one of my favorite gimmicks in wrestling right now.
I was say the name alone is just spectacular stuff.
Yeah, and they are very entertaining for the time on TV. I think there's a place for them, and their reaction when they found out it was the Don Callis family was fucking.
Oh, they were not. They were not
enthused. Yeah, no, and it's funny because they've literally just taken on Max's open challenge thing. Because they come out, that's what they're doing. And they're doing the open challenge and they're losing. They literally just took what Max Caster was doing and now they're doing it for a group. It's hilarious. Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Josh Alexander. It's like, so the ending sequence of this match, Kyle Fletcher does a German, and this is all on Mansoor. He does a German off the second rope. Takeshita comes up and does his wheelbarrow move. Josh Alexander then does his C4 pile driver. And then he pops up and Kyle Fletcher hits a brain buster and then just kind of poses on him for the 3. Dude, if any wrestler was ever to kick out that combination of moves, I would just stop watching the show.
Yeah.
That was a bit of overkill. That was like... You got everything. It was like any of those moves are a finisher.
Yeah, you kick out of that, and I'm like, hey,
why am I watching this? What the hell? Good Lord.
We may have jumped the shark a little bit if that happened.
Dude, it was just such a cool finisher. I wanted them to be Trios champions after they did that. I just so I could see that move every week.
I get it. I honestly get it though.
Yeah.
We had a one-on-one match between Kevin Knight and a member of FTR. Who the hell did you think it was going to be? It was going to be the big man. It was going to be Dax Harwood. That's exactly who it was. And Floyd, you can take control of this one.
I actually thought this was a really good actual match. Dax held control with his strikes and stuff at first, but eventually the speed-strength combination of Kevin Knight got ahead of him. Stokely tried to throw in a little assistance. Willow blocked that, and in that time, Kevin Knight was able to hit his satellite splash or whatever for the 1, 2, 3. All of a sudden, what? Who attacks Willow? It's none other than the surprise, Megan Bain. And who's with her?
And Penelope Ford.
So the group of Mega Bad and standing tall, because for some reason FTR loses, but they always seem to be the one standing and walk away from the match. Cash, Dax, Megan, the Megasis, and Penelope all standing with Stoke. I hope this is leading to Stoke being Megabad's manager in what I assume is the soon-to-coming women's tag team tournament.
They seem like immediately one of the favorites for that, just from the jump.
Yes, because, Megan is one of the strongest push person. She's basically the female version of Kyle Fletcher on the women's division.
Uh-huh.
Yes, she's on that. Yeah.
I already mentioned the face-to-face with Toni Storm and Chris Statlander was spectacular stuff. Honestly, it might have been my favorite part of the entire show, if we're being honest.
Uh-huh.
Like, that promo was so theatrical and so good. And it had a Harley Cameron appearance as well when the Triangle of Madness showed up. So, I mean, like, what else can I ask for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I truly think, I don't know how it's going to end or where it's going. Right now, I'm watching AEW and watching the shows, and I don't feel like there's a feud in the company I can sink my teeth into, really.
Not a blood feud. There's not a blood feud that feels like it's personal and just they can last months.
Yeah. Darby and Mox, I enjoy. Don't get me wrong. But again, I think they cut the legs out of that feud at All In. And,
a little bit.
And like, it's hard to, like, really care about it. So, no, I am, so maybe Stat and Storm can do that because Storm already did it once before. So maybe she can have a nice, good feud there.
I feel like when you feud with Toni Storm, it's always going to feel personal. So I hope that they give them a real chance to, like, have this pop off. And, you know, obviously maybe with the idea of Harley getting caught in the middle of it all too, with her relationship with Chris Statlander, and maybe gets used a little bit, I feel like could provide maybe a different level to things as well.
Absolutely.
And the show finished off with the Paragon and Orange Cassidy going up against the Don Callis family of Hechicero, Rocky Romero, Lance Archer. It was just good stuff.
I'm going to call this
really, really good stuff.
In the future, I will call this DCF C team. This is the C team. They're so deep.
The C team of the DC.
Yes.
Dude. I mean, like, it takes up the roster takes up half the show.
Yes.
I mean, like their family takes up half the roster.
They have an A through D team. That's how deep they are. And this was the C
crazy.
Team. Yes.
Yes. You know, like, the depth chart for this family goes fucking ages. It's
they are literally the Monstars from
literally. Yeah, you have 2 6-man matches, and you still have members of the family who were not on the show.
Dude, they're gonna have to do a show. I truly think this. They're gonna have to do a show where it's Don Callis family versus AEW, and they're gonna be able to put on a banger show.
It's gonna be WCW NWO Revenge or something, man. But this was a solid closer, honestly. Paragon and Orange Cassidy, they fit well together. They work really well. It kind of gives me a little bit of almost like you squint at it maybe a little bit and you're like, is OC back with best friends? That's not possible. Like, that's kind of what the mindset I got, at least a little bit, with them teaming with Paragon. You kind of get the idea of, like, what if these are like his new Trent and Chuck? Like, just in the sense, you know what I mean?
I am of the opinion Roddy Strong is either going DCF or going to the Death Riders. I don't know which group he's going to. You know, Death Riders would make the most sense. Wink, 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 wink. But, you know, the Don Callis family, they're deep, and they'll take anybody.
They'll take anybody. But that was Collision. Solid enough Collision show, and we'll go right into AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday, which opened up with the face-to-face between Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe, who had a fierce altercation last week on Dynamite. So the show opens with Hangman coming out, waiting for Samoa Joe, who came out with the other members of the Ops, Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyori Shibata, but then they went to the back, and no contact at this face-to-face, and Hangman just goes through and says all the things that he's experienced in the 6 years that he's been with AEW on Dynamite. He says, I have won, I have lost, I've committed arson, and I even dressed up as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I think I was even proposed to once. And I also just love that out of all that, people cheered for the arson part, I felt like the loudest. That was the part that people were the most like, yeah.
I cheered for the proposal because my boy Johnny Hungy got on one knee.
He did get on one knee. That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
Now, he did say out of all of that, though, everything that he's experienced on that night, never once was he so confused as he was last week when he stood by Joe and Hobbs. And after they won the match, he had to deal with an angry Samoa Joe, but that's because he continued to remind him that Hangman had never beaten Joe. He's like, I asked you for this chance because I owe you. And he's like, it meant the world to me, and I wouldn't be champion without your help after what you did for me at All Out. But the repayment for the gratitude stops there because at Wrestle Dream, you will have a chance to win this, but I won't let you take this from me. And then Joe gets on the mic, and he just starts going off. This man then goes, everything this man has said is true, but then all of a sudden he's like, when I look at you, I don't see the pinnacle of professional wrestling. I see a pretender, which is such a barb. Which is such a barb.
Hey, Samoa Joe. How you doing, buddy?
Seems like you're speaking this man's language.
I mean, I felt like I could have wrote the promo at some point.
He's like, the prime target is the champion. You're not the champion. He goes and questions him for being a fighting champion. Basically, he's calling him out because he's padding his stats with these open challenges. What's standing in front of me is a fraud. I'm going to check you. And then said, this is what's going to happen at Wrestle Dream. You know, we'll go back and forth until I choke you out, because you're going to wake up with the gift of this truth, and you will know your place, and you will have given the world a rightful world champion. To which Hangman, he agreed with most of what he said, but had one issue, is that every second that ticks by in this match is my favor because you cannot outlast me.
It felt like he was calling him fat, you know?
It wasn't even that. Honestly, this part of Hangman's promo, he's like, you're going to knock me down. It literally sounded like he was pulling a page out of Dan Campbell's book. You're going to knock me down. I'm going to smile, and I'm going to get up, and I'm going to bite a kneecap off. You're going to knock me down again. I'm going to stand up, take the other kneecap off. It's literally what Hangman was basically saying. It's like, I will outlast you. I will be the one left standing, and I hope you can stand up, shake my hand, look me in the eye, and know that I am the champion of the world.
It sounded like he was telling him to get his cardio up to me. That's how I took it.
Maybe?
Yeah, because it was like, hey.
With the idea of outlasting him? Maybe?
Yeah, no, but I honestly, this is the most, like, wrestling promo battle ever.
Oh, God, dude. This was literally, like, this felt like a sporting build-up. Like, you know what I mean? Two giants, two physical, like, peak of what they do, and they're just calling each other out, basically, for how they're going to kick each other's ass.
I feel like this could have been a UFC thing. Samoa Joe is like, I'm a former champion. I don't respect you as champion. I think you've been taking cupcakes. I'm going to beat you up and take my title. Hangman's like, dude, you can't hang with me. Yes, you can hit hard. Yes, you can hurt me. But 30 minutes in, you know, you're going to start breathing hard. That chest is going to get heavy. And you're not going to be able to finish me. And then I'm going to beat you. This felt like this was about wrestling. This is like when you talk about a sports-based presentation, these promo battle was like the most sports-based presentation that they've ever done.
Yeah. No, honestly though. Like, it was so well done. It was such a great way to start off the show. It was just fucking sick, honestly. It was a really great promo to open up the show. We then go into Jon Moxley versus Tomohiro Ishii. After Mark Briscoe was getting the conglomeration fired up as all this type of stuff gets on. I will say real quick, Moxley's entrance at Daly's place was fucking sick. The use of the shadows with the red light, which they've been using for their entrances, it was honestly really sick. I'm not a Death Riders guy. I don't like the Death Riders. But I will say the entrance and the way it was shot, especially with Mox looking at Marina Shafir in the shadows, was just so fucking good. And then the slap and the hits and getting him to go out there. It was great stuff, honestly, for the intro. Match itself was physical. Crowd was right there with it the whole way. and just continue to not, like, they're just trading blows. It's just what it was. Basically, guys trading blows consistently. Mox pretty much looked like he broke Ishii's nose, which is crazy, because that man just continues to just seem like when you hit him with shots, he just bounces off it like crazy. But Mox was able to get a gotch-style power driver on Ishii, which was awesome, and then get right back up, and then Mox curb stomped him, and that was a really good near fall that I thought was really, really strong. And then Ishii also got thrown into the steel post at one point, did not care, and then threw Mox directly into it afterwards. Ishii's no-sells and a lot of times just are so entertaining. But in the end, the Bulldog choke would be applied, and Moxley would get the victory over Ishii. Really good match to start off, honestly. Well done between both guys. And these are two guys that are way too familiar with each other to have a bad match. I just feel like they respect each other, they know each other well, and it translates every time they go up against each other.
And it comes down to simple. Tomohiro Ishii wrestles a specific style.
Yes.
And Mox wrestles a style that is completely compatible with it. It is no nonsense. It's a lot of punching. I'm tougher than you. You're tougher than me. And it was just perfect. That's why Tomohiro Ishii can be featured anytime on AEW, because of his style is just no nonsense, hard hitting. I really enjoyed this match.
Yep. We then had the Young Bucks getting interviewed by Renee Paquette. Basically, they were screaming at Tony Khan and banging on his door because Nick was basically like, we need a money match. We need a money match. He basically could have been scratching his arm and being like, listen, I need money. I need it now. And, like, basically, Nick has gotten the Young Bucks into some hot shit. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point where, these guys are going to need to be doing dishes in order to be able to make some money at this point. Because Renee basically said, hey, you guys might need to worry about Jurassic Express. They're going to be in action tonight. And Matt was like, I got 2 tickets to watch. And he revealed that the reason that the way they got those tickets was by selling some sneakers, which Nick was not okay with. You know what? Do I do this? I might get people getting mad at me for this, because if they sold their own sneakers on resale, not sure exactly how much they would have gotten for those right now.
Dude, I know some.
Even though I had their shoes and I bought them at retail, I'm very curious what their shoes are selling for on resale. Let me check. Well, Shout out StockX, Detroit's own StockX.
Yeah, I just want to make sure this is very clear. If they were to just sign those pair of shoes and put them up on eBay, their money problems would be gone. Especially if they're worn.
Let's take a look here. If I go to market data, let's see the last recent sale. A pair of these. Let me just say all. Let's see. The most recent pair of those shoes that have sold were sold in. It looks like July of this year, July 1st. They were a pair of 10.5s, and they sold for $125, so significantly under market. Yes. Now they did sell one back in March for $349, so the price is a little bit more variant, but it just depends, I feel like. But yeah, it's not seeing a lot of people buying the shoes on resale. That's all I'm saying. So if you were trying to sell your own shoes, you might not be able to get them to go.
I'm just saying, if the Young Bucks wore a pair of shoes, sign their name on it and say, Young Bucks worn shoes, I know people that would go into thousands of dollars of debt.
Whether or not that's a good reason for that is a different thing entirely.
They would mortgage their house. They would go upside down to buy those shoes and just to sniff them because the Young Bucks wore them.
And I don't talk to those people. You then had the street fight match between the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand. It was good. I wanted it to be better. I wanted it to be so much better.
That's what I was saying about the show. I don't have a lot to say about the show. This was a street fight that happened. I think they could have added a little bit to it by it being a backlot brawl because
Correct,
you have the cars
like
around it and and you got the big crashes of going through the cars and stuff. That's the only critique I have. It was a good match and they won. I don't think, in my opinion, again, they're not booked even enough. I never felt like the Hurt Syndicate was in trouble.
Right.
And with Toa and Bishop, if your goal is to build them up, they should have hung. They should have been blow for blow with the other two. Then, big spot to get rid of them. And then they took out Ricochet. It felt like Bobby Lashley just kind of dominated his side of it.
Right.
And it was just like...
Well, bro, I mean, that choke slam he did on Ricochet, like, dude was like 70 feet in the air.
Dude, and if Bobby Lashley somehow ends up being Hangman's soon-to-be person that he wrestles, I would be very happy with that because I do think Bobby Lashley belongs in the title picture. But in this particular situation, when you're trying to really establish the demand as a group, I think it should have been more even. I'm just talking eyeballs watching the match. It never felt like the Hurt Syndicate was in trouble.
Yeah, no, honestly, and you're with the fact that, Bishop Khan and Toa Liona are the muscle, you would think that it would, I feel like a lot of the match would have been better if it was just, they had built up the Hurt Syndicate getting their hands on Ricochet a little bit more, but every time they tried to, Bishop Khan and Toa Liona were there to cut them down, which is why almost I feel like if they just had a normal trios match, that could have been the story of the match, and I feel like it would have gotten a bigger reaction, but the reactions came from the gimmick spots or from the plunder spots, basically.
Yeah, yes.
And there was one of them where Ricochet did a 450 through a table and didn't go through the table, and I was just like, oh, man.
But then they fixed it. Yeah,
they did fix it. They did fix it, yes. But I was still like, man.
Okay, and this is your home crowd. This is the homecoming crowd. I don't know if it was miking. I'm going to leave that as an example. But it felt like this crowd was mostly dead through the show.
I mean, it was a bit like
I said, it might have been crowded. I mean, hands and stuff might have been moving and sound might not have been traveling. I am going to leave it to that. I'm not gonna say this is a bad crowd or go off anything dramatic. I'm saying the crowd did not come through on TV.
Right.
That's all I can say.
And a lot of times when it doesn't come through on TV, a lot of times we're told oh no, wait guys, if you actually look at the crowd in other videos, no, they're coming through. They're coming through.
Yeah, it's like they had a few spots where I really heard the crowd, but there's this match that I expected the crowd to be going crazy, and I felt like we didn't get anything towards the end of the match.
I thought the moment where Ricochet was by himself with the Hurt Syndicate, I thought maybe that would have been where you get him really big.
Yeah.
And I thought you did for a little bit of it, but again, I feel like if you build that moment a little bit more of them trying to get to that moment of getting Ricochet alone with the Hurt Syndicate, I feel like that would have hit a lot harder, though. And they beat up Ricochet a good bit of the match anyway.
Yeah, and then they just kind of finished him, and it was over.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Don Callis family had a quick little segment, basically, where they said how Takeshita and Okada were going to work together under the banner of the Don Callis family as a well-oiled machine. When we beat Rodito, we're going to roll into Wrestle Dream and win the tag team titles. And once again, the Don Callis family will have all the gold, which now is a genuine threat because of how many people are in this goddamn faction.
I want them to have all the gold.
It'd be a crazy thing. We then had the first time in 3 years that Jurassic Express has been wrestling together. First time since 2022. And it's Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus facing off against some jobbers.
So it's 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hour show. We got a little window on the show. Throw Crew or Top Flight or somebody in there to actually feature, what we've been missing with Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. I just felt like this, I think I was like, oh, I was about to go to get the bathroom, then the match was over.
Right. Yeah. And again, it was just like that. And considering the fact that we're building up Jurassic Express being back, it seemed very weird that they didn't get like a legitimate like opponent to go up against. Now I'm not complaining because first off, I want to say I do love the fact that in the end, Jim Ross always wins. He called that man Jungle Jack so many times that eventually they just said, fuck it. We're going to call him Jungle Jack now. Like, that's just now what he's addressed at. He's not Jungle Boy. He's Jungle Jack.
It's almost like Jim Ross has been doing this for 40 years. It's almost like that.
It's like, crazy.
It's almost like, hey, he's studied and been under some of the brightest minds in professional wrestling, and he knows how to get a character over. I mean, when I say Stone Cold, I still hear it in my head in Jim Ross's voice. It's almost like the man knows what he's talking about.
He knows how to sell. That's for damn sure. So after the quick little match, which I will say out of the little bits that were there, it kind of seemed a little bit more as like Jack Perry is still a little shit and is kind of more so doing kind of what Christian was doing in the sense of like ordering around the beast, ordering around the dinosaur, and also cheating because he also had a beach ball thing where he was trying to get corner pad off. Aubrey stopped him, so someone tossed Jack a beach ball and he walked away so that way he could go make a tag to Luchasaurus, and then he ripped that shit apart. And, you know, I'm interested because I've said before that I like that Jurassic Express is a thing. I'm not sure with what I'm seeing from this little small jobber match how long we're actually going to be seeing Jurassic Express together. Because to me, it seems like the setup is going to be trying to get Luchasaurus to be a thing on his own. At least that's what I'm kind of getting from the first inkling of them being back together. It seems like we're getting basically what Luchasaurus was kind of doing with Christian, but this time he's actually going to go all the way through with it and break out and, you know, it'll lead to a match with him and Jack. That's just what I'm seeing out of that from the jump. I'm intrigued by it. I'm more so just happy that Jack Perry didn't say a goddamn word on this show. I didn't have to hear a single fucking thing come out of that twerp's mouth.
I just want them to be established tag team. FTR and Young Bucks aren't going to be around forever. And I think Jurassic Express could be the tag team of AEW.
I agree.
And, the Acclaimed, I think there's a lot of people in that image that can be that next tag team to take over from FTR and the Young Bucks, but we got to start establishing them now. So I'm hoping, honestly, I don't buy Jack as a singles wrestler. I just don't.
Thank you. That
might be me personally, but I perfectly love them as a tag team. So maybe they got back to this is their best presentation for them as a duo. So I'm hoping that's the case. But again, I am not. I've never said I am unbiased. I prefer tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Perry and Luchasaurus being the tag team of AEW, eventually getting up to 4 or 5 runs as the tag team champions and going into the AEW Hall of Fame as one of the greatest tag teams of all time, I'm down for. I'm not going to argue against that. So,
No, and I think
that's his best role.
I'm not still full against the idea of Jack and Luchasaurus having a singles feud. I'm not against that. But after that, you're trapped in the same hole that you were already in with him being a singles wrestler to begin with.
I feel like it's the Hardy Boys. I don't think people want to see Jack Perry and Luchasaurus fight each other. I just don't. I don't think
I'll watch it, but I think it's more so terrifies me of what happens to these two after the match itself is over and the feud is over.
Dude, they did their thing with the Acclaimed, and nobody wanted to see it.
Nobody wanted it.
Because they liked them better together than they wanted. Just because
and I feel like if you do this, it's going to be the same shit.
Yeah, just because someone tags together doesn't mean you want to see them fight. There you go.
We need to take in. I mean, it was a thing that AEW did for a while with their tag teams, where not every tag team has to break up and get into a feud.
Yep.
So after the match, though, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, come out of their seats where they were watching the show and watching the match and beat the shit up out of the Jurassic Express. So got their revenge and hit the super kicks on Jack and then said, in the pro wrestling business, we call this a callback. And at Wrestle Dream, how about this? Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. This match is literally like a walking paradox for me. Who do I cheer for? I don't know. I'm like stuck between a rock and a hard place with this one. Maybe I just root for the Meteor.
Yeah, Laura would fight me if I did not mention this on the show. The callback they were talking about is Jack Perry took the mic and hit Tony Khan in the stomach.
Tony Khan in the stomach, and it was in Jacksonville when it happened.
So the Young Bucks did it to Jack Perry. I assume most of you know this, but like I said, I'm afraid of Laura, so I'm going to make sure that it's clarified on this show that that's the callback they were referring to. So I'm excited for the match. I mean, those four have been working together forever. I know the Young Bucks like them. I think this like a great match can really establish Jurassic Express as back, and it's the Young Bucks. I know how you feel, sir, and I know your paradox, but to say this is not going to be the match.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
And it's probably, it might even steal the show that night. But honestly, the way the card is starting to fold out, it's not going to be an easy steal at Wrestle Dream.
It's going to be very, very tough because they're building the hell out of this show. I will tell you that. Death Riders had a quick little backstage promo with Pac about Orange Cassidy, basically saying he needs a little snack and he's going to make him suffer. And then Wheeler Yuta chimes in basically saying as Orange Cassidy's former friend, they were going to hurt him tonight. But they got to cut the fat. And Daniel Garcia basically said that's what winners do. So a little backstage promo with Death Riders going into the TNT Championship being defended by the protostar Kyle Fletcher against another Kyle in Kyle O'Reilly. And this is a really good match. Obviously, the joke was Kyle. We were getting another Kyle match, obviously.
And this is my problem. This is the match I expected more from Jacksonville. I didn't get the, we want Kyle. Kyle.
Which we got that before. Where was it even the first match?
Let's go, Kyle. You know, I finally, towards the end, after they cooked, we got this is Kyle. We got that at the very end. I was like, the whole reason for the Kyle versus Kyle match is for the fans to take over. This is the match we welcome you to hijack it, and you didn't hijack it.
You just sat on your hands.
What the hell?
What the hell, y'all?
Dude, most of the time I find those things annoying, but it was Kyle versus Kyle. It was set up for you to hijack, and you didn't hijack it. You're on the plane. They have left all the doors open. They say feel free to hijack this, and they're like, nah.
They gave you the red carpet to do so, and they did nah.
I'm tired. I don't know. Was it outside? Was it hot yesterday? I don't know. I gave the crowd doing this match a D. I am mad at you, crowd.
Maybe Jacksonville was still hungover.
I am not mad at the Kyles.
Hey,
I know what shot you're about to say. That's why I'm stepping on it. I knew what you were about to say, so I'm stepping on it on purpose.
They're still hungover from Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that shitty day. Terrible day. Worst day of my life.
Awful, no good, terrible, bad day.
14-0. And people were like, who are you blaming on? I was like, this was a complete team loss. 13 fucking turnover, 13 fucking penalties. We got 4 penalties on special teams. How is that even possible? Like the double thing, the double block thing. I was like, I haven't heard that called all year. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm blaming us. We played so bad. It felt like Virginia versus Florida State. We're better than Jacksonville, and we just lost. And I was so mad. I'm sorry. Why'd you bring it up? Now I'm getting heated all over again. Shut up now.
No, but the Kyle versus Kyle match was fun. I like the fact of how I felt like there was points where they got like almost like working on the limbs. I feel like Kyle O'Reilly was basically being able to put some pressure on Kyle Fletcher by just being able to really attack body parts. And it was a really, really strong defense for Kyle Fletcher, as they confirmed basically after the match was over, with additional punishment being done on Kyle O'Reilly. Roderick Strong and Tomohiro Ishii come out to save things, but Rocky Romero comes out for the family, and that's when Mark Briscoe clears house and then goes face-to-face with Fletcher and was held back and then exits the ring. And they're going to have Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship at Wrestle Dream. Another banger of a match that is expected to be very, very fun to watch.
Dude, yeah, this is another one. This one's been built. It's 2-2. It's the 5th of the series. AEW doesn't do a lot of matches this much. So, but I was actually at one of the matches where they absolutely killed each other during the residency. So I am really looking forward to being in this match again. Incredible chemistry between the two. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. And then we go into the TBS Championship Open Challenge for Mercedes Moné. She was going to find out who from Florida was going to be facing her for the TBS Championship. And it was Lacey Lane, also known as Kaden Carter, originally from NXT. And she had made her original debut on Ring of Honor earlier in September when she went up against Mina Shirakawa for the interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship. So she had already appeared technically with AEW, but this was her Dynamite debut. And honestly, I don't think Jacksonville gave a shit.
And that's one thing. So I'm a shout out. Sometimes I take my time to talk directly to my friend TK as a fan. When you do these things, these announcements, and let's just say it's not going to be like blown out the world, just tell us ahead of time. Because what happens is when you do this, and I've said this before, I'm still going to repeat it because it's obviously not getting through. You say it's going to be a big announcement and you disappoint. Now there's a lot of people that don't tune in next time because they're like this. And each time you get diminishing returns on these special announcements. Dude, you say it's going to be someone from Florida. You see that it's Lacey Lane. Lacey Lane, I like her. I liked her, Katana Chance and Carter, as a tag team. I hope they're brought in for the tag team tournament. That'd be a fun little team to have it. I have no problem with her. But you set it up like a surprise. Everybody speculates. Then it's her, and no one cares. And it makes her look bad because of holding it in, you made the expectations higher. Now, if Mercedes is like, I want to fight somebody from Florida on Monday on the AEW Twitter and stuff, you go, hey, she's going to take it. You do a little video package and you announce that it's going to be Lacey Lane, and it's going to be Mercedes versus Lacey Lane. The fans can come out and they can cheer her because they have someone to cheer for 2 days. But everybody was saying it was going to be Dakota Kai. Everybody said it was going to be Izzy. I'm saying it's going to be Britt Baker. That's just me. I'm the only one saying that, me and Chris. Actually, so 2 people. We're the only people in the world thinking that. But everybody starts speculating. And then when she comes out, which she's a perfectly good wrestler, this is a perfectly fine match, she gets the nothing because you have now disappointed your crowd. There was nothing she could do to get over in this point.
Unfortunately, no.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't do this to people. Don't do this to people. Just announce her on Monday or Tuesday or even early Wednesday.
And then just go from there.
And then have the match. Because everybody had their speculation. And I fucking love to speculate. And it doesn't hurt my feelings when I'm not right. It's like, whatever. Right. But your crowd, they didn't care about this match at all. And I think it had a lot to do with being disappointed. As it wasn't one of the people they were speculating all week on. Because I didn't hear Lacey Lane come up from anyone.
No one mentioned her as like a person that they were expecting. Now, which makes it a little bit of a surprise. But again, we're just not. It's not it's not against Lacey Lane. It's not. But like when you're teasing it like that and you let fans' minds wander and speculate,
yes,
they're gonna go for the bombastic. They're gonna go for the oh my god moment. And while Lacey Lane I think is a great addition, she's not that like holy shit moment because like she's not on the level of Mercedes. Like just from jump, because you knew there was no way she was winning anyway.
Yeah, we didn't think anybody that came in was winning. But we were like, maybe for the pop. And it was just like there wasn't going to be one, not with her. And again, I like Lacey Lane. This is not against Lacey Lane. Correct. I felt like she was set up for failure. That's why I was saying this.
Yes, correct.
She was set up for them not to be react. I'm not going to say the crowd was going to go crazy at all. Anyway, it just felt like it was especially set up to get the reaction that she got.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I got in regards to that, though. But moving on with the match itself, it was all right. Like I said, it was fine, but it just definitely sit down for the fact of, like, again, like, there wasn't really many people that were directly hyped up for this match, though. But if she is going to be here, though, Lacey Lane does, I feel like, immediately become somebody who could be put into a tag team for that women's tag team division, and I think she would kill.
Yeah, I don't know if Casey Canizaro is still wrestling, but she is. To say you could bring in someone that was, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions into your tag team tournament, I think it gives it a little, street cred or whatever. Moving forward. So, I definitely bring her in. I definitely use her. You could have as many good women wrestlers as possible. I'm not, like I said, nothing against her. This is not about her.
It's not. So, they did confirm for AEW Collision Homecoming this week. We have Eddie Kingston versus the Beast Mortos. And then we moved into the Double Jeopardy Eliminator match between the Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita versus the Tag Team Champions Brodito. I wanted this to be so good. I love the story of what they were doing with Brody's shoulder. I liked how that was a big part of the match. I like how Bandito sold it early. I liked how they went after it, and I liked how that set things up for Okada and Takeshita to get the win and then get themselves the Tag Team Championship match against Brodito for WrestleDream. I liked that a lot. This felt like a prelim match. This was the appetizer match for what we're going to get at WrestleDream. And I'm excited for that.
They left something on the plate, but yeah.
Well, they left a good bit on the plate for that one. And I'm not going to say this is good, but the second that I saw the shoulder tape, I'm like, that's how they lose.
Yeah. And
like that's how they set up for this match getting a rematch at WrestleDream for them getting the Eliminator chance to get an actual title shot at the pay-per-view. Now, I love the way they sold it, and Bandito sold his ass off with that shoulder. But yeah, it just has me itching for when I get to see these guys at WrestleDream and when they go at it again, because that's the match where I feel like, oh, you're setting these guys up to literally put out a banger. So absolutely. I don't really have too much else to say. Like I said, the selling of the shoulder was a good part of the match, and I liked how that it was used, and I liked how each member of the tag team for Don Callis family with Takeshita and Okada being able to work off each other and, still have that bit of like, with each other with Protege and with Padawan and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I still love, and I love too that like Brody was able to really hold his own too against those two the whole way through. But unfortunately, Bandito was just too worn down, and shoulder gave way for the 21 plex, and that's when you got the knee pad being in there for the V-trigger, and then proceeding to get the Rainmaker, and then they will be getting that tag team title match. And again, I'm so fucking excited for that. I'm just so excited for that.
Absolutely, and the tension between Okada and Takeshita continues to grow.
It's in. The build for that is going to be.
I'm just saying, and nothing that has anything to do with each other. I leave for Tokyo, Japan in 83 days.
Good little backstage promo I enjoyed with Big Stoke and Megan Bayne responding to Willow and Jet Speed's call out. I loved when Megan Bayne walked into frame when Big Stoke's like, I don't get any hoes, but I do have two bad bitches. And they bring out Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, which also Megan Bayne, Jesus Christ. Like, I saw Dax lean over. I'm like, Dax, eyes up there.
Whoa,
like,
whoa. I'm sorry. She's like 6'2". I mean, he had no choice elsewhere to look. I mean, the dude's only 5'10".
Your boy, dude.
The dude's only 5'10". I mean, like,
that's an excuse I would use. Dude. Don't do that.
It's like the dude's not
I'm
tall.
legitimately short, so like,
yeah,
come on.
like he's short. Everybody's short compared to her.
But I'm actually short, so like, come on.
She's a giant. Top gods out. I loved it, but yeah, I love. You know how much I love Willow. And this is where Stoke is not my avatar. He's like, I hate Willow so much.
I know, and you're like, oh, dog, what are you doing?
You're not my avatar anymore, sir. It is.
Unfortunately not.
We have hit a split in the road. So no, I love this whole promo, and I love the whole Megan Bayne thing. And like I said, Stoke with Megabad being their tag team and with being FTR. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, 1,000%. We then have the main event, Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Two guys that have been away for quite some time, and they are now going at each other. Here's what I got to make the issue. Everyone's brought it up already. It's Pac's new look. Now, the hair, ain't got no issue with the hair. I got no issue with the hair. It's going to take me a minute to get used to the singlet. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. I'm like,
dude, how do you look more dangerous with clothes on than you did with less clothes? Like, he looks like a villain now. You know what I mean? He always looked like a sculpture. Like,
oh my
honestly,
God,
yeah. And somehow I think he's more ripped. And I did come to this one conclusion that I was with Jackie doing this match. I know why Mox has Yuta and Daniel Garcia now. He does not want to have the worst physique in his own group.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Daniel Garcia and Yuta, he has to compete with Claudio and Willa Yuta. I mean, Claudio and Pac. He has to look in that mirror. There's no confidence left there. The dude's built like all the muscle that you can fit on someone that size. Yes. Like he should, if you're like 5'6", he should be your god. That's the physique you should go for.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. I mean, that's the standard bearer.
Yeah, but
looking like that.
Yes, and let me say, pause. He has on way too many clothes. It's uncomfortable for me.
Yes, it needs to. I can't deal with it.
The dude showed up in the Jacksonville winter in regular gear, in tights and boots. I'm sorry. That's how I'm used to seeing you. I'm like, honestly, it's working because now he has actual heat for me for wearing too many clothes.
I get it, though. But honestly, it's crazy to think, though, like the last time that I think these two guys wrestled each other, or at least the last big time they wrestled each other, was Revolution 2020.
Wow.
I think so. Or at least they might have wrestled maybe one or two other times. But, I mean, like, I was at Revolution 2020 when they wrestled the first time.
We were there, and the whole thing was Orange Cassidy was going to try. He's like, I'm actually going to try.
And now it's like literally... He
tries all the time.
Every day now.
Yeah.
He tries way more than he used to.
Yes.
But, yeah, this match was a lot of fun. I loved how Pac was able to just go right back to just looking like a fucking beast. Like, again, like, it's... I joke about the singlet, but, I mean, this dude, like, he's truly so clean at this. He's so physical, and it's so exciting to watch. The crowd was really getting into this match, I felt like, more than anything. I thought this was the moment where I felt like the crowd actually kind of woke up a little bit. And then there's a great moment where Orange goes to dive to the outside. He gets caught, but then this time Orange Cassidy gets the Sundog Millionaire on the outside. Great DDT on the floor as well. And then they're fighting through the ringside area, basically, and then they get to a point where they're all of a sudden finding themselves in the back in the on the stage where the seats are. They're fighting up there, which is a really good moment too. And the tombstone was physical. Those two kids that were to the side of Pac and OC were losing their shit. They had the best view probably the entire night. But after the tombstone, he's kind of backed up, and all of a sudden he looks. He's been handcuffed on his ankle to the railing of the seating area, and it turns out that it's Mr. Darby Allin who has done so. Flips the double birds, and he's trying to fight out of it. I'm pretty sure I could see the point though where the chain broke, and like Pac's just sitting there fighting with it a little bit more longer just to make sure it looks like more of a struggle, as he had already broken the chain well beforehand. I think I saw that, but that might have just been like me seeing that. I don't think many other people saw that. But eventually, though, Pac gets back to the ring, dives to the inside, and then gets rolled up by Orange Cassidy. And that was stealing the win from Pac. He's pissed. And that's when Darby's there, and he's making fun of him, and he's taunting him, basically. Pac starts chasing after Darby, and that's when Darby sprays something. We don't know what it was, but it got the commentary team coughing and everything. Yuta comes out. Death Rider's entire time goes out there, but that's when Darby Allin shows he has a motherfucking taser. Gets backs away and just runs to the back to the parking lot area. Death Riders are fuming. Moxley wants to go after him. Marina Shafir is screaming that it's a trap. And as she comes, Darby is lying in wait for Death Riders to come towards him. He has a fucking Molotov cocktail that he's trying to light, but before he can light this thing, fucking Security Sam comes out of fucking nowhere and gores this man. He doesn't tackle him, he gores him.
It feels
Sam,
like... I had this funny, I was like, this is one of the better spears I've seen. And it seems like this might have been a conversation earlier. Hey, if you try to light that thing, I'm going to tackle you.
Sam is out here moving like he's 20 years. Like, this man is like moving. And he's trying to kill Darby with the way he's taking this man to the floor. Stops him from lighting the Molotov cocktail. And that's when security then immediately comes to separate these two. And this I Quit match, the things that they're teasing for this I Quit match, you truly wonder where the buck stops with what these two will or won't do, will choose to do to each other. It's not a matter of what will they do, it's what won't they do, honestly, at this point. Because Darby is pushing the envelope repeatedly with what he wants to do to Moxley at Wrestle Dream. So I don't know what the fuck to expect. It was a wild end to the show. Overall, solid to good Dynamite for Title Tuesday. But my God, what an ending to this show. You're muted, my friend?
Yes. Honestly, for me, this was the most memorable part of the show.
Yes.
This was the takeaway. I'm like, they set up some matches for Wrestle Dream, but this match was okay, it makes it the homecoming edition of Dynamite. This is what I was expecting for the 2 hours. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was pure, unadulterated madness that we saw on this closing moment. And the match itself, again, was really, really fucking good. That was AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday. We're going to have a couple things on Collision real quick. TJ will be in action. We're going to get the Acclaimed reunited as they're going to face Big Bill and Bounty and Brian Keith. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Eddie Kingston obviously going up against the Beast Mortos. We're going to have FTR and Megan Bayne versus Jet Speed and Willow Nightingale. And then we're going to have also just wildly announced, I believe this was announced on Twitter, but Josh Alexander is going to be going up against fucking Kota Ibushi. That was confirmed for Dynamite for Collision Homecoming as well. Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, and Harley Cameron will be teaming up to face the Triangle of Madness. I mean, what a fucking unit that is. Chris, Tony, and Harley. my God, like I can't cheer for a team any harder, like genuinely. And yeah, I think that's what we have for Collision Homecoming.
And I'm sorry if I kind of zoned out. I was looking at something on my screen. We talked about the FTR match.
The FTR match? Oh yeah, yes, the mixed tag one. Yes, we did talk about that.
Yes, FTR's going to beat them up. And they're going to have to beat Willow up, and it's not personal.
It's not going to. It's
not personal.
Business.
It's equality. It's equality. You know, they'll beat anybody up. It's okay.
Yes.
It would be disrespectful for them not to beat you up, Willow. That's it. And I don't want them to disrespect you. I never want them to disrespect you. So they got to beat you up. I'm sorry.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Now, that is what we have coming up for Collision Homecoming. I will tell you right now, because Floyd put this in on the notes, I'm gonna preface this just real quick, letting people know that if they don't want to hear about this, or if they would rather just stop the episode here, this is the end of the genuine episode. But we're gonna get into. Listen, Hangman spoke about him on social media. We're gonna talk about him. Ice commercials have been running on Dynamite for the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about them just for the moment, but if you don't want to deal with it right now and you'd rather not deal with any politics in the show or whatnot, you can stop it right here. But Floyd and I have some thoughts on this, and we wanted to talk about it.
Yes. Me personally, my thoughts is I don't like the Ice commercials. That's, or whatever. And, where side of stand on your politics, I'll let you handle that. I don't like them. I'd rather them not be there. But the thing is, AEW has no control over that. I don't believe. I am not a person that's going to assume I know something I don't know. But I don't believe they're in charge of selling advertising for their show. I believe that is handled through TNT, Warner Brothers, all that kind of stuff. And that is why when people send out that information, they are sending out, people send out their information, they're sending out, you have to contact Warner Brothers Discovery or whatever. The reason I say that is this. Unfortunately, and I believe this, this is why at sometimes, like, I feel AEW is never going to get any leeway or really grow, because as a company, their fan base criticizes them and hold them up to this unimaginable, unattainable type presence that they have to be. For like, I see this, I don't like the Ice commercials, so I'm going to quit watching. Well, when you look at the other company, dude could like murder someone on the screen and they won't quit watching. And it's just like, it's almost unfair, because it's like you're holding them.
Well, again, it's the idea of like the double standard.
Yeah, you're holding them. You're holding them to an unreachable standard. Like, they have to be perfect. For you to keep watching, they have to be perfect.
No, so here's where I'll draw the line, at least in regards to that, because obviously there's a lot of instances where like something doesn't align with your values and you're like, it's going to get me to stop watching. I've seen people say that they're not going to watch the show anymore because of the Ice commercials. I'm not going to go after somebody for choosing that. That's their choice. I'm not going to get mad at it. Like, what? It's like, if that's what's going to cause you to stop watching, I mean, be my guest. I can't really cause anything about it. I am not happy about the commercials. I literally sent Floyd a video message where I was like, what the fuck is this doing on my Dynamite? Get this shit off here. And I shout out Hangman for literally giving the direct contact to HBO and Turner Broadcasting and Warner Brothers Discovery to tell them to get this off the air. I respect him for doing that, because that's why Hangman is our unproblematic king. That being said, though, these are government-run ads. That's what they are. I don't really know how you have a chance of stopping those from running. Now, if they can, and they do stop running, fuck yes. Now, I'm not sure how you do that. I work in TV, and I don't even know how you would stop that. But that being the case, though, again, it's the idea of the double standard, though. It's like, this runs on AEW 2 weeks, and people want to stop watching because of it. The mother of the former owner of the other company is in the cabinet for the current administration. Where's the stopping watching because of that. You know what I mean? People don't pay attention to it. They don't care.
Yeah,
they just go on to it.
You are grown. You can stop watching whatever you want for whatever reason you want.
And obviously, you're not happy about the ads running, but you clearly are not paying attention to them in that regard. You're not giving them the attention that they want with those ads.
Dude, when the show goes on commercial, I generally stop paying attention. I watch the show while I'm at work. I start working. I start messaging Jackie about something that happened in the last segment. I very rarely pay attention to the commercials, but I do know, there are people that do pay attention to the commercials. I just don't think there's anything AEW can do about it. And
yes, but no, if you need at least an idea of where I stand, it's like, I don't like the commercials. Fuck Ice, like forever fuck Ice.
We're both that strong against it. So it's
because I saw the commercials. I literally was just like, this is about as like post-apocalyptic like shit as you can see, but it's real. That's the thing. It's you have to wake yourself up to realize, holy shit, this is a real fucking thing. Yeah. And like, unfortunately, that's just the world we live in right now. I can't baby you with it. This is the fucking shit that we live with. You don't gotta like it. You can fight against it. You can go and fucking do all the kinds of things that you want in the world and like try to make changes in politics, and you can fucking speak to your representatives, and you can call Warner Brothers Discovery. You can do all that. Or you can just ignore it. Like, you can do what you want. It's a free country. I mean, you do what you want in that regard.
Let me be real. That's what I do. I just ignore it. It was like when you told me and sent me the screenshot. Otherwise, I didn't even know it happened.
Right.
You told me it happened. Matt Coon, when he posted it, told me it happened. But
yes, and Hangman Adam Page
told me. No, but other than that, I don't pay attention to the commercials on TV shows most of the time. I actually like commercials. But honestly, most of the time, during commercials on TV, I go do whatever I have to do and try to get back to the main programming. Right. So, again, we're not telling you that you need to accept them. We're not literally telling you. Everything we're saying is just facts. We're not telling you what action to take. I'm just saying, if you're going to take action, you're going to say anybody you want these commercials going after. It's TNT, it's TBS, it's Warner Brothers Discovery. That's who you should be reaching out to, because they probably have more control over what shows on than their programming. I knew, as we're in Oklahoma and we have Cox Cable, I know some ad time on these shows are sold by the cable company locally.
Correct.
So even then, even if you call them, they're like, oh, those are not, they could say, those aren't our commercials. We can't do anything about it.
And the way I attribute these ICE commercials, I attribute them the same way I see the political hit ads that consistently run around election time. Like, I don't like seeing any of those. I find them all a pain in the ass to have political ads running during election season. It tires me out. I don't like them. But people pay for them. So I can't stop it. You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer to just not have to deal with any of those, but, like, that's how ads are placed. That's how they're paid for. That's how they get to TV and everything like that. They're sold. Now, again, the ICE ads are government ads. I don't know how that works. So, but I attribute them to the same thing. Like, I don't like that they're there, but I mostly ignore them. So, but if you're choosing to stop watching because of that, that's your choice. You do what you want. I understand how strongly you feel about that. I would just suggest taking more actions in more productive ways as opposed to just not watching a wrestling TV show, because I'm not sure what that exactly accomplishes. That's just what I'm saying. Just trying to speak frankly about it. But I also say fuck ICE every day of my life. So that's just where we're at. We can move off of that now, though. I think we've touched every base that we could possibly touch on that.
Absolutely.
And we're not gonna bring them up again unless they just are actively.
It was such a big thing.
Unless there's a public. We're jumping out ahead of this, and we're making a public statement that we're taking all the ads off, and they're not running it all on Dynamite. If TK makes that public statement, which I don't think he will, because that is a strong stance to take, I I don't think that'll happen, but if they are taken off the air, we will mention it as news. That's it.
Yeah, 99 out of 100 times this doesn't make it on our rundown. It was such a big thing today, and over the last 24 hours. I felt, even as the proclivity of positivity, we should probably bring it up if we're doing a AEW podcast.
Right. But I think at the end of it all, that's going to do it for this episode of All Things Elite, guys. We hope you enjoy this Saturday when you guys get to watch Collision Homecoming. It should be a fun show. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. We appreciate the support you guys give us. If you're enjoying All Things Elite, we would appreciate if you continue to support us, downloading the show. When you listen to us, turn automatic downloads on, whether you listen to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And then follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and get a t-shirt and sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description of this show. I will pass it off to Floyd now so he can take us home on another edition of All Things Elite.
Thank you, everyone that listens to the song, whether it's second, minute, however, just if you're just downloading and never listen to it. We appreciate everything you do. We're just making it, counting our way down to Wrestle Dream. Next week, I'll be live in Kansas City, and then I'll be live at Wrestle Dream having some White Castles before the show. I'm so excited for that. Looking forward to hanging out with my boy Daniel Griddle, but just want to say, watch out, watch out for each other, take care of each other, love each other. This is something I came up to a conclusion this week. Do not mistake your bad choices as bad luck. Please know the difference. And with that, I'll leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.